Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, like I was laughing in the previous video, the United States military, not one section, one department, one new office, a whole new entire space force that all, as they said, all departments of the military departments are going to be a part of, which means your CIA is going to be in there, your FBI is going to be in there. You're going to have, all of your, your I don't know how to put it, your armies and your navies and your air force, and then you're going to have all those not lower squads, those elite squads. That's the word I'm looking for. Elite squads. Okay, so all of these people are now working towards whatever they have done for the space industry for themselves, now taking that and trying to throw it all in one big huge mass thing. Yeah, I'm one guy. And they have just literally devoted millions to trillions to shifting and moving it, and then getting it ramped up to something in response to Occupy ISS, underscore International Space Station. Yes. When survival counts. Okay, now we have this list over here. Okay, again, I'm going to pick on it. Okay, like I said, we take plastics. The titanium, unfortunately, we're going to have to figure out where the heck to get that from. I don't know what else, other than just simple mining technique and stuff like that. I don't know how much we can use out of the, yeah. Like I said, we're recycling all the dirty waste plastic. Let's go and look for what kind of metal stuff we can recycle into framework. I think, I hate to say it, I think a few people would really love it if they had, some kind of framework that worked, and might be something like a basic ironworks in there, because they got them up into space where they were able to try and do something to survive all of this and all of this. And like I said, folks, you guys are in a world of hurt because it's all very hot out right now. You got heat waves all over the place. Virus and bacteria at a certain level of heat, sure, it kills it. But the hotter it is in the normal standards of human range, generally the faster it reproduces. And if it's reproducing faster, and it's got all of these things that cause mutational factors to happen, to cause mutation in your dividing and your changing from birds to land animals to humans. Yeah, okay. So you understand what I'm saying. This is an absolute unknown, okay? Okay, I'm the artist of chaos. Everything I do has a 5% chance of not going where I want it to go. Do I get pissed off because something doesn't work? Oh, yes. Guaranteed. Me and the gods have some interesting conversations. But I move on, I go forward, I get on with it, and I accept that there's going to be a certain amount of error in life, okay? Most people can't handle that, okay? Now, we have all this, like I say, and one of the things that's an absolute is you got Fukushima radiation all over the planet. It's being dispersed by the fact that there are 3 reactors in meltdown phase in the Earth's crust, not in the power plants anymore. They have melted through and into the water tables. They're polluting everything, okay? Absolutely everything. You have millions upon millions of rotten 55-gallon barrels in the bottoms of your oceans, in mine shafts, in bunkers like Hanford, where they made a bunch of train track tunnels and just started lining them, and now they're watching the tunnels collapse because they weren't able to contemplate the fact that if radiation destroys whatever's around it, that the concrete bunkers and all that were going to, or they understood it and they are doing what I have originally said is the legal premise of this. They are interested in committing suicide. I'm not designed to commit suicide, so here we go. We're going to have another answer, okay? You have all of this nuclear waste, and more importantly, you have an awful lot of nuclear missiles and bombs and bullets and stuff that is just absolute crud and junk, okay? Now, some of it doesn't have to be worked too hard to be refined into a nuclear engine. In the 1970s, the satellite systems up in space, they were being popped up into space. A lot of them were running a nuclear-powered, I believe it was a liquid sodium system. And in a lot of cases, it was liquid sodium. They were small units, but they produced anywhere from 5 kilowatt to 15 kilowatt, and powered all of the necessary stuff inside of these little satellites. Okay, and I'm serious, little satellites. Okay, 100, 200 pounds was a mercury limit. Okay, well, you got the spacecraft and you got the capsule on there and stuff like that. You're not going to get a whole lot more to throw up in there, okay? If you take the spacecraft weight, it was several thousand. That's a different story. You remove that and put a whole big satellite up there. The thing is that they had a lot of these. They were self-contained units. Obviously, they're throwing them up in space. They're still working, a lot of them, okay? So they would make a pretty good idea of what to use. That was the first thing I thought of way back in the 70s. Was, hey, they got this stuff here, nuclear power plants, fine. You got all this nuclear waste you don't know what to do with. Some of it is close enough to refinable to run these little generators, but you're going to make them a little bit larger because you're going to be fitting them into the shuttles. The reason being is simple. You want an extremely high constant out source of electricity, and you can make a very small enclosed little, thermally generated electrical power plant there with a nuclear battery, basically a big nuclear battery, okay? And you're going to run it back to the hot plates that are the jet engines for these shuttles. Now, if you have an extremely hot plate and you spray water on it, it exhausts at a pretty high level pressure, and it also separates oftentimes into its oxygen and hydrogen components, which if you add a spark to, you then have a thrust of the flame expanding as well. So you have a double expansion chamber going out, and you're using water, folks. I don't think you can get away with salt water in that sense, but yes, you could spray salt water in there, and everything that was in, everything, you scoop a big bucket of salt water in, throw it into the chamber, and as long as your jets don't plug up because there's the minerals and various things in there, yeah, it's going to go on there, it's going to hit that hot plate, and it's going to blow out the ass end, and you're going to have enough thrust to be throwing these shuttles up into space. And if one of these things develops a leak, guess what, folks? It's just water. If it's high enough up, it'll be ice, which is a little bit of a problem because I can be pretty damaging to a satellite. But you don't have anything to lose, and you sure as heck don't have a big, huge pile of firecracker powder. Boom! There went a shuttle. Boom! There went a SpaceX machine. Okay. And you are already super radiated, okay? If you have one of these things blow up, yes, there's going to be a little bit more radiation around there. Do you really think that denying yourself the ability to create, 1,000 of these shuttles a month, in like, say, from 6 months from now, you can be putting out 1,000 shuttles a month? Do you really think that one of those things going boom is anywhere near the amount of damage that 1 million 55-gallon barrel drums of radiation is doing in the coldest parts of your oceans? Yes, the very beginnings of your life cycle, of your food cycle, of your ocean cycle. The depths are what you're killing. That's why I say you're committing suicide. You have nothing you can do at this point in time because these barrels have been leaking. They were designed theoretically to last 50. It's been found that they last about 20 to 25. The same thing with Hanford. You have millions of gallons in containers that in that case they happen to have been designed to only last 20 years, and there's now been something like 30 or 40 or almost 50 years since this, and there's absolutely nothing you can do with all these toxins, okay? Where do you want to bet if you get enough of these shuttles going, you could be taking some of that stuff, putting it in a damn shuttle, and just shooting it at the sun? It's not going to hurt the sun, but it'll get it off your planet. You can save yourselves, almost. You've destroyed your ecology and your ecosystem. You can help bring your planet back to life and make the gods happy by start getting rid of some of this stuff in a way that would be ecologically sound. So you see, there's more to what I'm saying, and there's more to what's going on than just this one little bit of something. I'm able to sit here and take this whole entire list of problems you have, realize that you have an absolute time limit, and actually give you answers of stuff that I knew about in the 70s. Yeah, 40 or over 40 years ago. At least 40 years ago I knew this stuff. And I knew you were going to do this too, because you'd be so arrogant. So that's what I say. Don't take me at face value. Don't take me for all of this. Go out there and look at your world. Pay attention. Do some real thinking. Because you might actually improve on what I'm saying here. And you're going to help your whole planet and this part of you. The heart, the cortisone, the energy in there. That's what the gods are going to look at. Did you try for yourself, or did you try for everything, including yourself? Not self-sacrifice. Oh, I'm going to burn myself up for. I'm going to give myself to God and never think about myself again, or never challenge the church. Yeah. Like I said, I challenge the United States Operation ISS _ International Space Station. They have responded. They are turning all of their military, and the entire nation with the mightiest military is turning its whole entire thing around because one man threatened to take it over. Yeah. Whoops! I get freedom.